Welcome back, everybody. Oh, wait, what is this? Jamie. Oh, this is my token of appreciation. Hello, Peter. It's just gonna be me and Peter taking this through with Lou and Ben's match. But no, I'm kidding. Welcome back. We are here for Victory World Cup, where we're gonna be. We're in the middle of Caster Showdowns, Jamie. I saw a match just now. I'm not sure if you did as well. Any thoughts about it?
I did see that match. It's amusing seeing a player go for a not so guaranteed win condition when they did have a play that would have guaranteed the win 100% of the time and not get punished for it, unfortunately. So yeah. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes the rolls go your way, sometimes they don't. This time they did not for me, so yeah.
Well, I was going to say, it is all dependent on what was going through that trainer's mind. Were they trying to make it a more entertaining set, or were they not? Because I think that was quite entertaining, at least from my point of view. So
yes, I chose to miss those sleep powders to get that end game. Yes, that's how it works.
Exactly. That is exactly how it works. But anyways, of course, we are here, and it's going to be our turn to go ahead and cast match over between Ben and Lou, our lovely co-commentators. So we're actually really excited. They gave a bit of back talk to us, Jamie, I think, in our match. So I think it might be our turn this time round.
Well, they set the standards, so we can throw it right back at them. So yeah, we can have a look at what they are going to be bringing to this Caster Showdown. We did, of course, get that sneak preview before. We're going to be starting off with Lou Cromie, and one of the most well-known casters in VGC at this point. You can see compared to our accolades, like we've done some stuff for Victory Road, which I'm very happy with, and think we're all very happy with. But then Lou is out there with a 3 times caster for the Players Cup and multiple internationals casting as well. So yeah. One of the best casters in the world at this point, for sure, and coming out with an Evolve team as well.
Oh, exactly. Yveltal, Incineroar, Amundus, that male Jellicent, Landorus, Incarnate, and Stakataka. So no Pikachu from Lou here, even though she does mention that it is or maybe it's just due to the fact that Dynamax is no longer in play. But
it's because you stole it, Costa. You stole all that good luck.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's the only reason why Lou's not running Pikachu. But yeah, so quite an interesting team. Here you do have that very good synergy between the Yveltal and Incineroar, where obviously they have that boost of the Dark Aura with regards to their Dark type moves. But Yveltal in general, a really nice pick. It just all depends on the certain matchups. And in Lou's case, she'll definitely not be wanting to go ahead against any sort of Xerneas teams. Whilst you do have the standard Jellicent, I'd say standard Jellicent is not so standard, but it has a standard role that is to try to go ahead and deal very good water type damage. It has access to Water Spout. It tends to go for that Trick Room setup most of the time. As you can see, Lou does have that team slightly incorporated towards both Trick Room, but outside of Trick Room. So a bit of a flexible team, I'd say, from Lou's side. So definitely interested to see how this pans out.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out. A very bulky team coming out for Lou. We'll have to jump over and see what Ben is going to be running here. So yeah, got similar casting things to us. We've been casting the Spring Winter Series together. We've been casting the European Cup and this World Cup as well. But coming out with a Reshiram, so a Pokemon that we don't see too often, paired up with the Charizard, Lilligant, and Torkoal, really going in with the sun there, as well as that Weavile and Terrakion.
Yeah, good old Ben going for full offense. I absolutely love, even though it feels a bit disconjointed at some points, I do really like the look of it, because Terrakion, you don't ever see Terrakion in Series 10 at all. So I'm quite intrigued to see the sort of niche that Ben has found in this, to bring it for this matchup, essentially. I think it's got access to coaching. It also has access to Quick Guard that people may not be so familiar with in general. So it could even pan out to be influential in this matchup, because at the minute I think Ben does have some good fake out pressure and very good speed tiering, and of course there's that Reshiram, which we definitely do not see, but I absolutely love the typing of it. That Fire Dragon is so good, especially when accompanied by its Terra Blaze ability, which essentially acts as if it's Mold Breaker. It can go through, let's say for example, can use Earth powers on a levitating Rotom, for example, which is a really nice mechanic situation that he has at his display.
He's brought some very strong picks against an Yveltal with that Weavile and Terrakion, two Pokemon that will be very strong against it. So we'll have to see how Lou is going to contend with the team that Ben has brought to this match. We can jump into the match now, of course, between these two casters. So Yeah, it's the Yveltal. It doesn't look like it's in the best of positions. You've got the Weavile that's going to be able to fake it out and do super effective damage. You could be beating up the Terrakion, so that it'll probably be able to knock out the Yveltal in one shot as well with its boosted rock type attacks. You've got to assume that there's a beat up on that Weavile somewhere. When you do see Weavile and Terrakion paired up together, it is almost certainly going to be that beat up combination. So I have to see if that is going to come out. Whether you have the Amoonguss as the lead coming up for loose, try and stop that beat up, because you can go for the Rage Powders to get that redirection going. Or you can just go with the fake outs to stop the Weavile. Because you can, if it's going for the beat up, it can't be going for the fake out either. Reshiram is in a pretty good position. It's going to be just going to have to avoid the Landorus and to an extent the Jellicents, but still going to be hitting neutrally with the water type attacks thanks to that dragon typing as well. So if you can just manage to avoid the Landorus, then the Reshiram is looking in a pretty good position. You've got the Weavile to be able to help out with that. You've got the Lilligant that can put it to sleep with the sleep powders. You've got the Terrakion, which will still outspeed it as well, and if it gets those justified boosts potentially from the beat up that could be coming out from the Weavile, that's going to be doing some really good damage as well.
Yeah, so do you think that perhaps Lou will be trying to opt to go for that Trick Room route? I think it would make a lot of sense, even though, of course, that Torkoal is available for Ben to use. But other than outside of that Torkoal, I think Ben doesn't really like Trick Room at all, to be honest.
Yeah, the Torkoal is definitely going to be the main way through it, but if you've got Jellicent as the Pokemon in Trick Room, as well as Stack Attacker as well, Stack Attacker does underspeed Torkoal naturally, so should be moving first, and if it's got those rock type attacks, we'll be able to do some very good damage there. So we'll have to see if the Trick Room strategy is what Lou is going to be opting for, because against the Yveltal, Ben's got some pretty good Pokemon against that.
Oh, but Ben is going to go ahead and bring a standard VGC classic from the past, leading with that Lilligant and the Torkoal, or should I say doubly named Lilycole. You see Ben's excitement already at turn 1 lead, facing Lou's Jellicent and Incineroar lead on her end of the field, as Trick Room may seem to be initially good, but that Torkoal is on the field actually.
Yeah, this is just giving me flashbacks to one of the worst formats we've ever had. It's 2017 with Lilycole everywhere. No, not a fan. But here it is again, once again in Series 10, and could still be going for the Sleep Powders with the Litigants. You can put a stop to that with the Fake Out from the Incineroar, and if you do go for that, you can get a Water Spout off or a Trick Room if you do want to be testing that. It's going to be a bit awkward with the Torkoal on the field still, though. You could be going for an RTU to get that Torkoal to be able to attack first. That was classically what the Litigant does go for when you pair it with the Torkoal, but definitely not going to be if it's switching out here.
Oh, it's going to be switching out for the Weavile, so Ben will be able to go ahead and bring that Fake Out pressure, accompanied obviously by Weavile's ability of pressure itself. Fake Out does try to go into that target, so well switched there from Ben. Whilst, wow, we see a reveal of Iron Defense Torkoal, not what you commonly see, whilst the Jellicent is allowed to get that Trick Room set up, but in this situation, Ben really enjoys the sight of this.
Yeah, you got the Torkoal in the Trick Room, but if it's going to be going for body presses, which you've got to assume with the Iron Defense, that can't hit the Jellicent very well. If it's got some Fire-type coverage, that's still not going to be doing too well. So it will take still a very good amount of damage from the Water Spout that can come out from the Jellicent. And not going to be doing too much to the Weavile, especially in the sun, but that's what the Incineroar can do. It can go for the full out bits, get the KO. If it is able to survive the +2 body press that could come out from the Torkoal now at this point, if it is able to survive, that'll be a pretty good position for Lou. If it is not able to survive, then you're not going to be able to get that full out bits into the Weavile. Then it can go for a Dark type move into the Jellicent as well, which will be doing some huge damage. So a really nice tech coming out from the Torkoal, something we don't see too often. We'll have to see if it's going to pay off here.
Oh, here we go. Body press doesn't pick up the KO into that Incineroar, which actually is enough to go ahead and proc that berry recovery, as we do see it is this citrus berry. Whilst the Jellicent, on the other hand, goes for the Strength Sap here into that Weavile. It will, of course, be reducing its attack by 1 stage. Right now, obviously, the Jellicent did have maximum HP there, so it could not recover based off of the attack stat, but wow, Flare Blitz just comes out and gets that KO on Ben's Weavile. Of course, getting recoil damage dealt onto it over time, but I think Ben was really hoping for that body press to be able to pick it up.
If you would have been able to pick up the Incineroar, it would have been able to allow the Weavile to be able to attack that turn, but still going to be able to survive and get the attack off. A little bit of a wasted Strength Sap from the Jellicent, so usually you want to be going for that when it's taking some damage so it can get that healing going with the Strength Sap, because you do recover a very good amount of HP when you're Strength Sapping a Pokemon with a high attack, which the Weavile definitely would be. A little bit of a missed opportunity to go for a full HP Water Spout, even though it's in the sun. It would be hitting the Torkoal on its not boosted special defense, and it's not got the best of special defenses, would have still done some very good damage, but now this Incineroar is going to be in range of this body press.
Yeah, and it is going to be taken out of this game one right now as Lilligant is on the field, and it is, of course, in range to try to go ahead and deal any sort of a very big grass-type move damage onto the Jellicent, as Jellicent did try to go for the Nightshade. Sleep Powder comes out, and the Jellicent avoids. Wow, why does that look familiar, Jamie? I'm not sure.
Can you get PTSD from like 5 minutes ago? Not entirely sure, but yeah, the Sleep Powder not going to be able to connect with the Jellicent there. That would have probably wrapped up the game immediately if it had connected, because then you can still just go for a body press and even a double up into what would switch in at this point, and not have to worry about the Jellicent at all. Nightshade doing a little bit of damage to the Torkoal, probably still Water Spout would have probably done a bit more damage, especially because the Jellicent still hasn't taken any damage at this point. You've still got 150 base power, you've still got super effectiveness, which is cancelled out by the Sun. But would hit the Litigant as well. That could have broken a focus sash on the Litigant, so you could have picked up the KO with the stack attacker at this point. But now that the Litigant still potentially holding that focus sash, if it does carry it, it's still going to be intact at this point. Maybe you need to go for some rock slide finishes onto the Torkoal now. Maybe even on the Lilligant as well, because the Jellicent, it can still go for a Water Spout if it wants to, and it's not going to be able to threaten the Lilligant too much. That's why the sash broken on the Lilligant would have been very good, because you could have picked up the KO at that point with the stack attacker. If the body press goes into the stack attacker, then you've got a single target full HP Water Spout going into the Torkoal, and with a bit of chip that it's taken as well, it would probably still pick up the knockout at that point. But Lilligant not wanting to take any attacks here, going to be protecting itself.
Ben looking quite confident in his play there, as Stack Attacker does try to go for the Rock Slide. It does connect with that Torkoal, but having that Iron Defense boost obviously does mean that it will not be taking any sort of damage there, as Body Press comes out from the Torkoal, goes into the Stack Attacker, picks up that KO, ×4, super effective move, boosted of course by that +2 that in its defense for that Torkoal. Nightshade once again coming out, completely ignoring the Lilligant, going into the Torkoal and actually procking that berry for recovery. So we are going to be seeing a Citrus Berry reveal on Ben's side as well, as Lou is now going to be bringing in her final Pokemon, being that the Yveltal.
The Yveltal is going to be a Pokemon you want to bring in, especially because the Weavile has been taken care of at this point. If it is Reshiram waiting in the back, you could potentially just get some Snarls down with the Yveltal at this point. Body Press isn't going to be doing that great damage to Yveltal. It will be able to shrug it off somewhat easily. And if it's got a Fire-type move as well, that's not going to do too much to Yveltal, especially if it's carrying the Assault Vest. So Yveltal definitely the Pokemon you want to be bringing in at this point. And now would be another opportunity to go for that Water Spout to break the Focus Sash on the Lilligant. You can follow up with an Oblivion Wing to KO the Lilligant, and then you should be stalling out the Trick Room pretty closely at that point, so you can just pick up the Torkoal with any of your Snarls or Oblivion Wings at that point with the Yveltal as well. And if the Jellicent isn't going to be targeted again, Water Spout would be the perfect opportunity to go for, especially because this Terrakion has just switched in for the Lilligant.
Oh, this could be interesting, as we may even see a justified proc right here, as the Torkoal opts to go for a Yawn, making that Jellicent quite sleepy. Jellicent trying to go for the Nightshade into the Terrakion, and we actually see Oblivion Wind coming out from the Yveltal, so no Dark-type moves into that slot deals so much damage. That is such a good change of pace for momentum on Lou's side of the field, as that Terrakion essentially switched in, but just took so much damage on the way in.
These Trick Rooms over now, so the Terrakion will be able to move first before the Yveltal and the Jellicent. Almost certainly not going to be in Sucker Punch range as well, so you can't even go for that to stop it from going for any of its stacks. And if you do go for that, it's going to give it a Justified boost as well and do even more damage. So you're going to have to hope for something like a Rock Slide Miss, or maybe the Stone Edge could be carried on that Terrakion. If it's not, it's going to have to be Rock Slide at this point, which will also do some very good damage, so we are going to see it come out here.
Yeah, as Lou's luck charm right there being Gimli has not come out just yet to fruition. Yveltal, although, is now allowed to go for oh my lord. It's allowed to go and attack the Torkoal. Deals so much damage. Of course, it's not susceptible to any sort of flinches in that scenario, as the Jellicent wants as well. It's not, I'm sorry, it's just the cat. It's just so distracting. The Nightshade does go ahead and connect into that Terrakion, able to go ahead and pick up the KO. Body Press not being able to do the exact same onto that Yveltal, and we do see that Jellicent now finally being able to be put to sleep due to that Yawn. So it's a 2 versus 2 from nowhere, and Ben does not have the Sun to allow this Lilligant to completely utilize speed if this Yveltal is max speed.
A lot of Yveltals don't run max speed though. They do go for, especially with the Assault Vest, you try to bulk it out as much as possible. So Lilligant, you're going to run it as fast as possible to make use of the Sun, and it is still going to be going first here.
Yeah, as the body press actually comes out from the Torkoal, of course, enough to pick up the KO there. Much to Lou and Gimli's dismay, as you can see in their face cams. Jellison is still asleep, unfortunately, and Ben is super excited about this, as we can tell, as he's in a situation where Lilligant is very free to go for that damage.
Yeah, you're absolutely in the position you want to be. You just click your grass move of choice. It's going to be the Leaf Storm coming out from the Lilligant, probably the strongest one. It does have access to, just easily able to pick up the knockout on that Jellicent there, and it's not able to respond with anything because it was put to sleep earlier, so just knocked out by the Leaf Storm, and it's taking that first game for Ben.
Yeah, so 1-0 for Ben right there. And I just want to make a note, everybody, that Ben and Lou, unlike myself and Jamie, are actually in a call. Well, they were in a call during this match as well. So there may be a lot of, should I say, oh, back smack? Oh my lord, I'm forgetting my English. Jamie, can you help me, please?
Well, trash talk is probably the one I would go for. What they were doing to us, and we should probably up our game on to get them back for. But
yes,
yeah, that Jellicent did sit there for what, 4 or 5 turns at full HP. Even if you're in the sun, Water Spout's going to be hitting pretty hard, especially against a Torkoal as well. Opting for the Nightshade just slowly chips away at the Torkoal. Even though the sun is on the field, you cancel it out with the super effectiveness. Water Spout, probably just 2 Water Spouts would have picked up the knockout on that Torkoal. That gets rid of the Yawn, that gets rid of the body press. That would have been an opportunity back into the game there for Lou. Just needs to click that Water Spout button. Needs to not be put off just because the sun's on the field, because that's still going to be the strongest attack the Jellicent could go for.
Well, yeah, exactly that. And I think Ben just found himself in a situation where he was just able to go ahead and just slow down all of the momentum, essentially, due to the fact that Lou just didn't take advantage when she should have. But yeah, so it'll be quite interesting to actually see how this pans out in game 2. How do you feel about Lou's strategy right now? Because she's going to have to try to force this game 3.
Oh, one thing that I've just realized is the Reshiram wasn't actually brought to that game, so Ben opting for no restricted coming into that match, going just for the Lillicol and the Weavile Terrakion, just going for the 2 cores as well. And yeah, it seemed like both players knew exactly what they were going to do in this game 2 very quickly. So yeah, very interesting that the Reshiram wasn't even needs to be brought there, but then it's not going to do so well against Pokemon like the Jellicent that was just sitting on the field for so long. It can get snarled down by the Yveltal as well, so I had to see if there is going to be a change-up, I was going to say, and yeah, Charizard is definitely a change-up.
My lord, you see Charizard, which is such a threat under the sun, thanks to that solar power boost, of course, that it does get. As we're going to be seeing Lou opting to go for the Incineroar and Stack Attacker on her side of the field, as maybe she's trying to make sure she has that guaranteed Trick Room set up right there, as Fake Out from this Incineroar makes a lot of sense. But from what we saw, Jamie, in game 1, you don't exactly want to try to go up against this Torkoal, which just goes ahead and can set up that Iron Defense and go for the body presses.
You're in a bit of an awkward position on Lou's side of the field. You can Fake Out to stop the Charizard from going for its super powerful fire boosted, solar power boosted attacks, but no Fake Outs at all, because you're not even faking out the Torkoal to stop the body press. And you can see how strong that Charizard is, just picking up the clean knockout on that Stack Attacker.
Yeah, and you can see in Lou's reactions there that she must have been regretting that situation, as that Stack Attacker was just dropped like a piece of hot rock, as Incineroar does go for the taunt into the Torkoal, and at least it has prevented this mischievous Torkoal for going for that Iron Defense again, the boost, and you can see how Ben is not quite excited about that prospect.
Well, you've taken care of the Stack Attacker at least. That would have been the main thing to deal with the Charizard at this point. Velvol's going to do okay, but you still have to take a Heat Wave on the way, because you can go for a Sucker Punch, but that's not going to be strong enough. The Charizard's going to outspeed you. Torkoal should just be able to go for some body presses as well. You saw how much the Incineroar was taking just from the Heat Wave. If it takes another Heat Wave, it could be put pretty close to just a neutral body press range as well. So yeah, really strong turn coming out for Ben there. At least you do stop the Iron Defenses. That will put a stop to the Torkoal somewhat. But Charizard is probably going to go on a rampage here, but it does need to connect with its moves first to do that.
Commentator's Curse! Yveltal does avoid it. Incineroar, my lord, that is so much damage. You see that Yveltal go for that Snarl. It of its own does cause a lot of damage, as it is going to be dropping the special attack of the Charizard and the Torkoal, but of course this Torkoal does seem to be more trained towards that Iron Defense Body Press interaction. Flare Blitz, not enough to pick up the KO on the Charizard, but of course that Solar Power at the end of this turn will be, as the Body Press does come out from the Torkoal and does pitiful amounts of damage. onto the Yveltal, and all of a sudden we're in a situation where Ben is in an awkward spot. Torkoal is the slowest thing on the field, and it is open to getting KO'd, but I spoke too soon. Now we see Terrakion arriving on the field.
Terrakion facing down the Yveltal, and the Incineroar, when it's already on the field, is exactly the position it wants to be in. You just get to click Rock Slide at this point. If it connects with the Incineroar, it's definitely KO'd. If it connects with the Yveltal, maybe put in range of a body press, but even if it's not, still being able to put very low in range of another attack in the future. And you're not threatening the Terrakion too much. The only attack you'd threaten it with really would be the Oblivion Wing, and we saw how much that did in the previous game. Won't be doing enough at all.
Yes, we're going to be seeing the Torkoal switch out finally for the Reshiram reveal. So quite interesting where Ben finally decided to actually play the series and bring his restricted to the field as Rock Slide comes out, does connect with both Pokemon, nearly picks up the KO onto that Yveltal, and of course the Yveltal's prone to getting flinched right here. Let's see if this does come into effect as we see the Life Orb reveal of that Terrakion, but Oblivion Wing is going to be allowed to go ahead, deals very good damage onto the Terrakion, of course, will be recovering that HP too. So we're in a spot where Lou has got her final 2 Pokemon up right now, and it is going to be the Landorus. So this may actually be enough to change the momentum.
Landorus is definitely the Pokemon you want in this situation, because it's going to be super effective against all 3 of the remaining Pokemon from Ben's side, and all 3 should be just knocked out immediately to the Earth Power. And maybe if the Reshiram is holding the Assault Vest, it would be able to survive, but otherwise, you just get to click Earth Power 3 times. So you just have to find the way to be able to click that button 3 times, because you are still in the sun. The Reshiram is still going to be doing very, very good damage to both Pokemon. The Rock Slides are still going to be very strong from the tracking, because we have seen it as the Life Orb as well. Should be in range of knocking out the Yveltal as well with the Rock Slides, but you're still going to connect with the Yveltal. Going to dodge with the Landorus though.
But it is going to land on the Yveltal. Life Orb boosted Rock Slide is nothing nothing to underestimate, essentially, as the Terrakion is now susceptible to the Earth Power right there. Does get KO'd from the Landorus Incarnate. And Jamie, I'm not sure if this Landorus is going to have enough fuel in the tank to be able to pull this back, as Blue Flare says no in the sun, picks up the 1-hit KO, and there you have it. Ben is the victor, 2-0 versus Lou, and oh my lord, brought the Reshiram in at the right time to be able to go ahead and snap up that set. And we've got Ben and Lou joining us.
Yeah, so how are you guys feeling after that set? Very, very, very quick set, just blasting through both of the games there.
Yeah, I mean, Water Spout's not a move, apparently. Let's be honest. It was there, and I just, I don't know, forgot it was there. Definitely hindsight, could have clicked that a few more times, maybe done a bit more damage to Ben's Torkoal. But as always, it's lovely playing Ben. We faced so many times in 2017 and 2018, and Ben always has beaten me, except for once. One tournament, which I will always hold over Ben forever, but every other time Ben has been victorious, and today was no different, Benjamin.
Benjamin, you are on mute, my friend.
Amazing.
Yeah, good quality casting here. We are all consummate professionals. We all know where the mute button is. I more than everyone else, clearly, because I put it on and didn't take it off. But yeah, great games, Lou. That tournament in Treviso that you keep reminding me of still haunts my memories. And yeah, there's a lot of fun. I didn't even know that the Jellicent would be carrying Water Spout. I wasn't even thinking about it. As soon as I saw Nightshade, I was like, huh, it doesn't have any water moves. Cool, I'll just keep attacking.
Apparently I thought that too, they didn't have Water Spout. But Costa and Jamie, very lovely commentary, and you guys weren't too mean.
No, I felt like
we should have upped our game.
We should have, but I just felt like, from our previous set, we already went through a lot of intensity. We're like, no, we're gonna actually slow down the pace there. But I think it was a very, very exciting match between you. I feel like at some points, Lou, you had the advantage, but obviously, I think, like you mentioned, Water Spout apparently didn't exist on the Jellicent, which could have really pushed the momentum in your favor. But then Ben, care to mention to us, I mean, you didn't need it in game 1, but care to mention to us why you didn't think the Reshiram was the right restricted, or should I say just Pokemon, to bring in game 1?
Well, as you mentioned, we were on a call at the time and we were just chatting through. When we entered team preview, Lou said, Oh, I love Reshiram. I can't hurt Reshiram. And so I didn't play it. That was.
And he won anyway.
Exactly, that was a large strategy. I do want to say thank you as well, Lou, because you let my heat wave go off, and that was the first time that Charizard was choice specs, and I've never used it before. So that was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to launch out that into your Incineroar. That was an experience to end this this match on that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, and hopefully everyone enjoyed it as well. It was a nice little bit of kind of an entertainment segment on this broadcast for you guys to see us forecasters pit ourselves against each other. So hopefully it was enjoyable for the whole stream.
Oh, exactly that. And of course, this will mean, ladies and gents, this is the end of the pre-show to tomorrow's finals. So don't go anywhere. Make sure that you are going to be well prepped. We are going to be starting the same time as we did today for tomorrow, and it is going to be the highly anticipated match between Italy and Spain. There will only be one victor, one world champion, so make sure you are primed and ready to tune in. But that will be us for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for going ahead, just passing by. We did have a lot of stats that we were able to go ahead and go through today. We had the lovely two managers of both finalists join us, had those interviews. It was really, really good to have that insight, both from themselves and about their teams. And we're looking forward to getting things going for tomorrow. So thank you from everybody, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.